Hey guys, Geeky Rocket here, bringing you guys an inbox kit review of MiniArt's Diorama with Farm Wall from their Diorama series. The kit number is 36033, and the finished overall length is 34.6 centimeters by 20.7 centimeters wide. So you can just imagine how large the surface area is for any of your diorama ideas. Composition wise, you can fit, depends on what you want to put on there, figures, vehicles, whatever turns your fancy. Great rendering on front of the box. There's not much to say else for the box art itself, although you do get another nice rendering over here, which for what the diorama kit itself could look like once assembly and painting have been finished. So overall, a great first look at the kit itself. Very pleased with MiniArt's Diorama series. Always give you a ton of different options, ton of different kits out on the market right now. The ideas for dioramas are basically endless with the amount of kits that they have. So let's take a look inside the box, see what we have. So there are a few sprues that are solely dedicated to the base itself. And when I first opened up my first MiniArt Diorama series kit, I was shocked as to how they kind of laid it out. As you can see here, the pieces themselves are molded into a single sheet of styrene. And I believe this is what is called vacuum forming plastic. It's I believe the process as to how they create their pieces for the diorama are similar to how you would like press sheet metal together to come out with various shapes and forms. I believe the process is very similar as to how they do this, but whereby you would have two moldings. You'd probably heat up a sheet of styrene and then they would clamp down together and you would have your finished molded on detail, as you can see here. So upon further inspection, you can see that MiniArt has a lot of nice detail in their kits. You can see from the molded on stone roadway, as well as the various texture and molded in details for rubble, as well as the dirt or soil. So very nice. Over here you have molded in looks like concrete cornice pieces for the concrete caps on top of the walls, as well as a rubble piece. A nice little addition to add to your diorama. And here again, nice molded on detail. MiniArt doesn't lack in that. However, if the texture for the ground doesn't turn your fancy, you can always add a soil water glue mixture to it just to kind of liven it up and make it more authentic, a little thicker. So good stuff so far. Here we have the wall, or the archway for the farm wall doorway, and some more for the wall. Again, I believe what the composition of this wall is basically stucco on top of either stone or concrete. Yeah, it's probably stonework or brickwork. And you can see how the stucco is kind of starting to break away, which gives it a nice visually interesting look, as well as the concrete cornice on top of it. So again, very nice detail, very well molded on. And again, you can see on the back how it is actually molded in. So again, I assume that the way they do it is just sandwiching a piece of styrene in between two molds, and they just press it all together after it's been heated up, and then obviously cool down again. So again, great detail. This is a fairly large kit. This is one of their larger diorama kits. So again, the possibilities for ideas for this diorama are endless. You can add a lot of stuff to it, come up with many different compositions. And again, this is the longer wall near the end of the diorama, with the small doorway for the other farm door. So let's just take a look as to how long this will actually turn out into. so you can see. Let's just adjust the camera a little bit. So you really get a sense of seeing how well or how big this diorama will turn into, which is great because I do plan on using this for my Nashorn group build, and I do have a lot planned for it. A lot of pieces going to be put onto this, so I'm very happy with how large this is actually turning out to be. So a ton of surface area. You're almost getting, you know, just under a square foot of surface area to work with here, and looks very nice. Once this is all taken off the sprue, it should build up into something pretty spectacular. One note about how to remove these pieces from the sheet styrene, is you can either take a pin vise or knife, such as these. If you're using a pin vise, obviously install a needle point end to it, and what you'll do is just etch away at or score away at the edges here until the sheet styrene you can break it off. Again, you can do that with a knife, but be careful while using a knife because the knife can get caught up into some of the piece where you don't want that to be removed, so you'd have to go back and refill or fix it up somehow. Another way that I haven't tried yet, but I believe should work just as well, and it should also minimize the amount of sanding you have to do afterwards, is to just take a fine blade, put it flat on your styrene, and then gently saw away at it until you go right through your piece. Hopefully that'll minimize the amount of sanding you do, because if you do use a knife or score away at it with a needle, it does tend to leave a nice strip of unwanted styrene at the edges, and gives an uneven finish. So what you'll have to do is sand in circular patterns to safely sand it away and level it all off. So I do hope to put up a tutorial on that, just to see, just to go through the different ways of how to remove MiniArt's Diorama series pieces off their sheet sprues. But that'll be it for these sprues. So again, you get four sheet styrene sprues for the diorama itself. One part, or the one point actually, that I will draw your attention to, if I can pick them out, is, for example, here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but every so often you do get little nibs like that. I believe that's from the molding process. I'm not sure why they are there, but they are there every so often, which does become annoying because it doesn't look right, especially when they are on, say, like the walls or some of the more significant detail items that are kind of like sticking up. Like for example, on the ground here, like you probably wouldn't notice it, but if it was on a brick or on the cornice piece, like the cement cap for the walls, that you would notice, and obviously it shouldn't be there. And it does become annoying when you have to sand them down, because there are a lot of them. And if you do sand them down a little too heavily, you'll have to refill them, because it literally goes right through the plastic, which can be annoying. And then here we have pieces for the farm doorways, and let's take a closer look at those. So upon first inspection, I am a little disappointed with their bolt detail. It's not overly embossed off the piece. This one isn't too bad. You can see nice bolt detail here, but on this piece here, it is a little faint. So we may have to go back and use evergreen styrene to kind of pop those details out and just glue on our own bolts. But not too bad. Again, there isn't any wood texture, so if you guys want, you can add that too with, I'm sure that's easily applied with putty or whatnot. But the hinges themselves look pretty good. Not a lot of flash on these pieces, which is fantastic. There we go. Nice bolt detail on the hinges. However, there are some large ejector pin marks on the backs of these doors, so those will have to be taken care of. Luckily that they are protruding out of the piece, so it doesn't have to be filled. All it has to be done is sanded down. So not too bad. A little disappointed with the bolt details on these doors, but nothing us modelers can't fix. Should be able to tackle that fairly easily. This is the last door, and again, bolt detail very faint, so we'll have to go back and figure out how to enhance those details. Again, even these hinges are a little soft on the bolt details too. And again, you see a few ejector pin marks on the backs of these doors, which will have to be taken care of as well. I'm not sure how old these moldings are for the traditional sprues, but it looks like they have been a little worn down, a little worn out, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, it's just something that we have to overcome. And let's have a look at these instructions. MiniArt's instructions are very similar to Tamiya's in detail and or Tamiya's and Trumpeter's. Very straightforward. The detail is great. Nothing you can. There's no second guessing yourself when it comes to these instructions. Very straightforward. So here we got you know, your first steps here go in order for assembly of the wall. Again, very straightforward. You move on to the back, continue on with the wall, as well as the doorways, and then you glue down the entire wall assembly to the ground. And then again on the back here, you have your final assembly. So all in all, very straightforward, very nicely laid out. I assume this is similar to all their Diorama series as well as their military vehicle series. Never had an issue with their instructions, so very nice addition. You know, unlike Dragon instructions, where you always have to kind of make your own notes and kind of go by the seat of your pants at some points. But all in all, very nice. So that'll be it for this inbox kit review. Again, always enjoy building MiniArt's Diorama series kits. Always a lot to offer. They always have many kits that are on the market right now. So they always offer an endless array of possible ideas for future dioramas. So highly encourage you guys go out and purchase this. This is a great kit, and definitely recommend it even for the beginner. This shouldn't be an issue for the beginner putting together as well. And again, right to the intermediate and advanced as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and you guys take care. I'll catch you guys later. Cheers. Thanks for watching.